So you hear about AI all the time, right? But how do you go from just hearing about it to actually doing it? Well, over the next few minutes, we're going to lay out a super clear, actionable roadmap that can take you from zero to AI professional by 2026. Let's dive in.
So why now? Why the urgency? Because the AI job market is set to explode by a whopping 40% by 2026. This isn't just another tech trend, It's a massive shift in how the world works. The real question is, are you going to be ready to be a part of it?
All right, so this is our map for today's journey. First, we'll talk about the AI gold rush, why this is such a huge opportunity. Then we'll forge your foundational toolkit. After that, we'll unlock how AI actually learns, then dive into the crazy new world of generative AI. From there, we'll chart a direct path from learner to pro. And finally, we'll talk about the really important stuff, building the future responsibly. Let's take that first step. First things first, let's talk about the why. Because right now, we are smack in the middle of a modern-day gold rush. The demand for people who actually know how to build and use AI is off the charts, and that's creating some incredible career opportunities. And let's be real, the rewards are pretty tangible. Even in emerging tech markets, we're talking starting salaries of $15,000 to $30,000. And that's just the starting line. In places like Silicon Valley or London, those numbers just get bigger and bigger. This isn't just a local thing. It's a global, life-changing opportunity. So how do you get in on this? Well, you need the right tools. And this isn't about taking off some boring prerequisites. Think of these as the sword and shield you're going to need to really conquer the AI landscape. Everything, and I mean everything, in AI begins with linear algebra. It's literally the language that AI uses to see the world. Every image, every sentence, every sound, it all gets translated into these grids of numbers called matrices. It's how an AI's brain, its neural network, can process tons of information super efficiently. Next up, we've got calculus. Now, if linear algebra sets the stage, calculus is the engine that actually drives the learning process. It's the magic that lets a model look at its own mistakes, figure out which direction is less wrong, and then take a tiny little step toward getting better. You do that a million times, and suddenly, you've got something that looks a lot like intelligence. And to round out our toolkit, there's probability and statistics. Because let's face it, the real world is messy, it's uncertain. AI needs a way to handle that. These are the tools that let us measure how confident a model is in its answer and prove that it's actually smart, not just getting lucky.
Okay, this table really pulls it all together. You can see on the left, we've got the math domains we just talked about. In the middle, those are the key concepts you'll hear about, like matrix multiplication for processing data or gradients for minimizing errors. And on the right, that's the real-world application. This isn't just theory for a textbook. It's the actual blueprint for how every professional AI system is built.
Okay, theory's great, but we gotta bring it to life with code, right? And the undisputed champion language for AI is Python. It's easy to learn, but so powerful because of its libraries. Think of NumPy and Pandas as your heavy-duty power tools for shaping and cleaning data. Matplotlib and Seaborn, they're your eyes, letting you actually see the patterns hidden in the data. And scikit-learn, well, that's your first magic wand. It gives you a whole bunch of ready-to-use algorithms. Getting these down is your first big practical mission. All right, now that you've got your toolkit, it's time to learn the actual spells, the core ways that machines actually learn from data. The two most common ways are supervised and unsupervised learning. With supervised learning, you're basically the teacher with an answer key. You show the AI thousands of examples with the right labels, like this email is spam, this one isn't, and it learns the patterns. Unsupervised learning is the total opposite. You just dump a mountain of data in front of the AI and say, go on, find something interesting. And it discovers hidden structures all on its own, like grouping your customers into different segments. And then there's reinforcement learning, which is just, wow, it's incredible. This is where an AI agent learns like a puppy. It tries something, and if it gets closer to its goal, you give it a little digital treat. If it does something wrong, no treat. After millions and millions of tries, it figures out the perfect strategy to get the most treats. This is the secret sauce behind AIs that can master chess and robots that learn to walk all by themselves. So for years, AI was mostly about analyzing stuff that already existed. But now we're in a totally new era. With generative AI, we've gone from being data analysts to being creators. These models don't just understand the world, they generate new things for it. And the key to unlocking all this power? It's something called prompt engineering. Basically, the art of giving the AI the right instructions. A super simple but powerful technique is called chain of thought. You'd be amazed just by adding the simple phrase, think step by step. You force the model to lay out its reasoning, which dramatically improves its accuracy on tough problems. Now, at the professional level, things get even more powerful. There's a technique called retrieval augmented generation, or RAG. It's like giving your AI an open book test where the book is a database of facts you trust. It stops the AI from just making stuff up. And then there's fine tuning. This is like taking a brilliant general purpose AI and sending it to medical school. You train it on a very specific data set until it becomes a world class expert in something like law or medicine.
Okay, that's a lot of theory. So how do you actually put it all together and turn it into a career? This next part is your concrete 12-month quest to go from total beginner to a pro.
Here's the game plan, and you can absolutely do this in a year. The first 3 months are all about building that foundation, getting really solid with Python and the core math. The next 3 months, you dive into the heart of machine learning itself. Then, from months 7 to 9, you pick your path. Do you want to work with language, images, or the new generative models? The final quarter is where you go from student to pro, mastering advanced techniques and, most importantly, building the portfolio projects that are going to get you hired. Now, to prove you've got the skills, certifications are a great signal for employers. If you want to understand the business side of things, Andrew Ng's AI for Everyone is fantastic. For a broad, highly recognized credential, Microsoft's AI 900 is the industry standard. And if you're in a leadership role, Google's new Gen AI Leader Cert is perfect for showing you know how to steer a company's AI strategy. But honestly, more than any certificate, your portfolio is the ultimate proof. It's everything. Building projects like a spam filter or a simple customer support chatbot shows you can do more than just pass a test. It shows you can use these skills to solve actual real-world problems. That's what gets you the job. And finally, let's zoom out and talk about where all this is headed. Because look, technical mastery is only half the battle. Wielding this kind of power with wisdom, that's the final and most important part of the journey. The next big frontier is something called Agentic AI. Now, these are not just chatbots that wait for you to ask a question. These are autonomous systems that can take a complex goal, break it down into steps, use tools like a web browser or a code editor, and then work to achieve that goal without you holding its hand. It's a game changer. And as we build these incredibly powerful systems, our responsibility comes down to these 4 pillars. We have to be relentless in fighting bias to make sure our systems are fair. We have to design them to protect user privacy from the very beginning. We have to build clear lines of accountability so we know who's responsible. And we absolutely have to build in safety to prevent any harm. These are not optional extras. They are the core principles for building a better future. So there you have it, the complete journey from beginner to professional. You've got the map, you've got the tools, and you've got the principles. All that's left is the most important question of all. What will you build?